How's it going? What's your name?
Wilf.
Wilf. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, what would you say your relationship with animals is like?
I would say it's pretty good. I've been a vegetarian for 5 years. My mum's also a vegetarian, so it's kind of like influential. I would say it's good. I've got a dog, and I enjoy the presence of animals. Although I am allergic to cats, I do quite like cats as well.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Interesting. Okay, so you're vegetarian 5 years?
Yeah.
What made you want to go vegetarian?
It kind of more started as a challenge. It was a challenge with my friend. We were going to do it for a little while, and then I found it was quite straightforward. Like, people find it difficult to give up meat. And I don't think it's entirely necessary.
Yeah.
I feel like it has made me healthier because I'm eating less fats, whatever. But then it was just kind of joining my mum with that, and I just found it's fairly straightforward. I think it was a good switch.
Nice. And what would you say there was any ethics behind it?
I think it's kind of evolved into ethics. So now if people ask what it is, I'm like, oh, it's partly to do with ethics, but originally it wasn't.
Okay.
But now it's kind of evolved. I can see now I'm, saving however many animals, and yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you know much about the dairy and egg industry? I assume you still eat dairy and eggs?
Yes, I do eat dairy and eggs, mainly because I love cheese. And
I did as well.
Yeah, I think if I really tried, I could. But it's weird to say though. I feel like the jump from eating meat to not eating meat, I think, is smaller than the jump to being vegetarian to vegan. I think it's
Okay. And you think it's more difficult to go vegan than it is to go vegetarian from meat eater?
I think so. I think initially people think it's a big thing, but not having any dairy products, not eating stuff like eggs, not eating stuff like honey, especially because that's where I'll get a lot of my nutrients from, especially my protein.
From milk and honey?
Yeah. Well, not from honey, but from dairy. Yeah.
Dairy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got a lot more other protein rich sources.
Yeah,
like
of
tofu.
course.
Do you eat tofu?
I do eat tofu and lentils and stuff, but I would say I'm an avid cheese eater. So
Yeah. Well, interesting fact about cheese is it latches onto the same neurons in your head that cocaine does.
really,
Yeah.
I suppose that might make sense now.
It's super addictive. Yeah, because I was addicted to it for many years as well, and I was facing this ethical dilemma too.
Yeah.
And I found out about the dairy industries and how baby calves get taken away from their mothers,
Yeah.
and male calves, they get killed very young and turned into veal, and that whole industry was supporting the meat industry still.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it and I was like, it's not consistent with my ethics and my values.
Yeah.
And that's what made me go for the jump to vegan.
Yeah.
So ethical
yeah.
vegan.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
What would hold you back from going vegan today?
Pardon?
What would hold you back from going vegan today?
Mainly my love for cheese and also just kind of practicality. I think it's quite hard as it is, especially going to friends' house, going out for lunch, especially in other countries. It is difficult to find places which are vegetarian, let alone vegan. I think obviously once I'm older and I'll be making more of my food at home, I think it will become more accessible, but I think it's mostly just a kind of partly taste and then accessibility thing.
But do you think your taste is worth more than what an animal's suffering would be?
No, but
It's in egg industry as well. Male chicks. Do you know much about what male chicks
No,
happen to?
I don't.
So in the breeding facility, so male chicks and female chicks, they get sorted, they get split. Female chicks go off down one conveyor belt, male chicks go down another one. At the end of the male chick conveyor belt, there's a macerating machine.
I did.
Yeah,
not know
they
that,
get
but
disposed
I
of.
suppose that makes sense now.
That's male chicks. They're not even a day old, some of them.
Yeah. No, I hadn't considered that. Might be worth trying it out again because I have been vegan for a week before, but obviously.
Yeah, was it the cheese? Or did you go back?
It was the cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, that cheese. But I find your taste buds change over time.
Yeah, of course.
So what might be your favorite food now? It doesn't have to stay your favorite food.
Yeah.
Because you can get vegan cheese, and there's
Yeah,
vegan
that's
cheese out there now, which is nice
no,
too,
I've had
tasty.
vegan cheese.
Even like whole foods and vegetables.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tasty ingredients. And how old are you?
16.
16. Okay, so you're 16, 2 years off from 18.
Yeah.
I think you're old enough to make your own decisions.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough.
So, what's holding you back? After knowing that.
I think partly accessibility, especially with the stuff that, especially school meals, there's no vegan options. At home, there's little to no vegan options. So sometimes...
Have you thought about asking the school for vegan options?
I think I did a while ago, but it still hasn't got approved unless I was having pasta with tomato sauce every day, which doesn't sound extremely appealing.
Or maybe you could start meal prepping
I could.
and make a stand, take a stand for it, because more people need to take a stand for this,
Yeah,
especially people who are ethically inclined to.
Yeah,
Because what do you think the number one benefit of being vegan is?
Health and environmental.
Yeah, health and environmental. It's interesting you mentioned those two, not the animals.
Well, and ethical.
Yeah.
I think that kind of falls under environmental because, the less animals that are killed or farmed then immediately means, less emissions.
Yeah, there's a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I would say is for yourself, you no longer be a hypocrite,
Yeah.
and you actually align your values with your actions.
Yeah.
So you're no longer paying for any animals to be exploited for your food. And then for the animals, obviously, they don't go through what they go through.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what veganism is. It's an ethical movement.
Yeah.
So they say, it's about ethics. And there's environmental and health benefits to it,
Yeah.
but predominantly ethics.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
So, vegan today?
Perchance, I'll have a word with my mum because she was vegan for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Also, would you like a card? I've got a card that you can give you for
I'd
more
love a
information.
card.
Yeah, great, man. Earthlings is a good documentary to watch too. That's what planted the switch in me to just make that change.
Okay,
yeah.
Sounds
Awesome,
good.
man. What was the name?
Wilf.
Wilf. Pleasure
Nice
to meet you, man.